Today is episode 9. I don't know where I got chapter from, of our tutorial. And today we're going to be looking at reading and writing to and from the hard drive. Fun stuff. Alright, we're going to open our, there we go, source there. Alright, so before we begin, I want to talk about exceptions. Now, exceptions are basically kind of a security feature of Java almost, where an exception will look for an event to occur, and if that event does not occur, it will indicate to the programmer that the event is not occurring. This helps to minimize runtime errors, which are errors that occur when the program is being run, even though the code compiled fine. The program is still getting some kind of error, and exceptions will detect these errors and alert the programmer. So I just wanted to talk about that because we're going to use one of those today. So we're going to need a couple outside files to read and write to. Number one. So as you can see, I'm over here on my source. Now, these files, in the scope we're using them today, they must be within the same directory or folder that your Java class file is in. So if I was to come up to my source like I do with all the other ones, I can go new and just file there. We can name it whatever we'd like. Now, I can call it, this one we can do the read from, so we can go read.text. Now, I believe they do need to be text files. We can put that in the package, I believe. Actually, we need to do that. Okay. We're going to rename that. We can get rid of the read. Oh, wait, no. No. Sorry, it's in the same place, so we can just delete it. It's in the right place. That's good. Now, for those of you that are kind of who are not using Eclipse and stuff, your outside files must be in the same folder that your Java file is. So if you had, for example, if I came to the desktop and I created, say, a new folder, call it whatever you'd like, and I put my, oh boy, if I just decided to put my new, I can put my Java file in here. Yeah, I want to change it. Good enough. So if I put my Java file in there, and then I put my text document in here, and I did read, and it'd have to be in the same folder. As you can see, it's in the same temp folder that's on my desktop, and that's how you would need to do it to run it using the command prompt. All right, so there's that. Now we're just going to populate this file with a couple file numbers. Now, actually, we'll come back to that. So we can go ahead and put in our, there we go, file. We can do a write.text file. There we go. And then there's those. So the write text file, I really don't need to put anything in because you're going to be writing to that. So anyway, what we need to do, we need to basically, we need to import a couple files, class files, I'm sorry. We need to import a couple class files in order to use these. So these are like the scanner and the random class files that we've seen before, but we're going to import necessary class files. So we're going to import, we're going to need a scanner, so we're going to import java.util.scanner. So we need one of those, and then we need the file not found exception, and the print stream classes. So we can go import for all those as well, and then you're going to Java, and instead of .util this time, we're going to go .io, which stands for input output, and then we're going to go .file. And we're going to do the same thing for the file not found exception, import java.io.file not found exception, And we're going to close that off. And we can import another one, and we're going to go java.io.printStream. There we go, and those are all the ones we're going to need today. So as always, we're going to need to initialize those objects. But before we do, we're going to utilize the exception. So the keyword basically for exceptions in Java is throw. So what that's going to do, basically you can think of it this way. It's going to catch an exception in its hand, which means it's going to catch some kind of event not occurring. It's going to catch it, and then it's going to throw it to you. That's how you can kind of think of that. And then you're going to, it's throws. There we go. And then, of course, it's going to be the exception name. So in this case, we imported the file not found exception. And you're going to do your curly braces. It doesn't like the throws thing. Alright, so I'm sorry, I messed this up. Now, when you do this throws thing, you're going to take this out. Because actually what you're doing is you're tacking this onto the end of the the main statement. So we can do it like this. So you're going to go public static void main string args, and instead of doing the curly braces right after that, you're going to put throws file not found exception. So that entire main statement is going to check for a file not found exception, and it's going to throw it to you if it doesn't find it. So I'm just going to tack that on the end of here with a file not found exception. There we go. So that's how that works instead of how I was doing it. I apologize, I had it written down a little funky on my paper. So then we need to initialize the objects. So this is the same way that you do it for reading and writing from user input and to the system. So for the scanner, we're still going to use a scanner to get the input. But instead of, there's going to be a little bit different. So what we can do is we can go scanner, and you're going to want to name it something. So in this case, we're scanning the disk or the read file, and we're going to go disk scanner. That's just the name of the scanner. It doesn't matter what it is. Equals, and we're going to go new scanner as always, and we're going to do the little parentheses, and we need to pass our parameters. But in this case, instead of going system.in, we're going to pass new, again a new keyword, file, and again you're going to have some more parentheses, and on the inside of those parentheses you're going to put some quotations, and you're going to put the name of whatever the file is that you did. So in this case we're going to be reading from the read.txt file, and this is case sensitive, so be careful with that. Case sensitive, so be careful. Alright, so there's our new disk scanner. So instead of say a scanner to, that would be, instead of new scanner system.in, it's new scanner new file and then the file name. So you're going to basically do the same thing for the writer, except it's going to be print stream instead of scanner. So print stream, and then just whatever you want to name it. So we named it disk scanner for the scanner, so we can call it disk writer. And it's going to equal a new print stream. And you're going to have your parentheses again. And then you're going to do some quotation marks. And then you're going to do the name of the file that you're writing to. So in this case, it's going to be write.txt. And you can end that file. And again, this is case sensitive. There we go. Be careful. We can change that to file name is, and file name is. There we go. So now we have our objects, and those are kind of the same ones that we use for, say, getting from the user and print it to the system. I don't know if that makes any sense to you at all, but there it is. All right, so one of the examples that I kind of saw that can be used in this manner is, for example, if you have, say, an order, like you're getting an order from somebody and they want so many of such product and it costs X amount of money. So what we can do is we can take in the amount of money, how much whatever that unit costs, and how much of that unit they want, and then we can print it to the right file. In this case, we can print it to the right file. So in order to do that, we're going to need some variables, and we can, since we're going for a price and like a total cost, those are both money values, so we can double those. We can go price, and we can initialize it to 0 if we wanted, and total value, and we can initialize that again to 0. And then we're going to need how many we want, and since that's not going to be like we want half a unit, we can go in integer and it'd be, say, quantity or something. And that can be initialized to 0 as well. All right, so now that we have those, we can go to our read file here, and we can put in how much the unit costs. So we can go $2.50. Why not? And then the next integer, or the next, well, the way we're going to do it here, it would just be next, say, an integer. So we want 6 of them. I don't know. Good enough, and we can save that and then be good with that. All right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to figure out what the price of the object is. So you can go price equals, and it's basically the same thing as getting input from the user, but in this case you're going to be using the disk scanner instead of my scanner, and you're going to go dot next double, the same way that you do it as input from the user like we've seen from before. And then we're going to need the quantity of the unit, so we can go quantity equals, and then disk scanner again dot next integer. There we go. So then you can find the total cost, and you can go equals price times quantity, because we're going to have so many of that price. And then if you want to write it to the file, here we can comment this up. We can go gather cost and quantity, and we can calculate the total, and we can write the total to the file, which would be disk writer, because that's our print stream that we made, dot print line. So instead of system.out, we can just go disk writer dot print line, and then you're going to take the value of total. There we go. And then if I was to run the file, you can see it gives me some kind of error. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I found my error. So I was putting these two files, as you'll notice, in the source here, like I do with my class files, but it turns out that I actually just want to put them into the main project here. So if I was to take our project, and I called it reading and writing this time, and I would create a new file, it does it out here, kind of inside that folder. So you don't want to put it directly beside the read-write Java or read-write.java. You actually want to put it just in the same project. So as you'll notice, I changed the read to test.text, and I put the numbers in there, and I changed the write to test2, and I did run it, and as you'll notice, it works, and you can see 15 out here. 2.50 times 6 is 15. And that brings me to one thing that I did want to talk about. If you run it again, you'll notice it does not print another one. It actually just completely starts over almost. It deletes the old file and creates a new one, same name, and writes the information to that file. So if I just delete that, save it, we'll just close everything here just to keep it neat. That's pretty much all I really have for this video. One more thing you can do though, if you want to continually do something until you the file does not have any more, you can check loop until there is no information on the file. So you can use, as a condition for the loop, you would use the disk scanner .has next, and you would use that as the condition inside, say, for example, a while loop. So you could like while disk scanner .has next and do it like that, for example. So that's pretty much all I have for you for this video. Hopefully I wasn't too completely confusing. Hopefully I did tell you some good information. Hopefully you understand what's going on with everything. So thank you very much for watching, and come again next time. Hope you liked the video. If you did, you can click on the previous general upload there to see a Minecraft Dual Players episode, or you can click on the previous playlist upload to see another video from this playlist if you haven't already seen it.